After claiming consecutive victories at the Red Bull Ring over the previous 2 weekends, Verstappen moved 32 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton, a Mercedes rival, at the top of the driver standings. Verstappen won both pole positions and led 142 of the race's total laps. He also set the fastest lap in Austrian Grand Prix to complete his first career Grand Slam. Do you like Formula One? Aware of this? Otherwise, let's start. Since Sergio Perez made history during the Monaco Grand Prix, Red Bull's RB18 merits special recognition for its ability to make even the most negligible improvements go a long way in Formula One. During a wet-to-dry race in the Principality, where Red Bull outsmarted Ferrari on strategy, the Mexican driver turned to finish third on the starting grid into a triumph. Even though Ferrari could secure the top row during qualifying, the pace between the two F1 frontrunners were incredibly close throughout the weekend. However, a few minor adjustments to the RB18 propelled Perez to the finish line and gave Red Bull their 4th straight Grand Prix victory. The strong performance by Red Bull prompted Hamilton to request his Mercedes team improve his W12 car to reverse the trend after failing to win any of the previous 5 races. Let's know the view of Max Verstappen. Verstappen stated that Red Bull needed to continue striving to ensure that its car could replicate his Austria displays at the other upcoming races, even though he was enjoying his current wave of success after claiming 3 straight victories. Verstappen stated, "I'm also focused on the rest of the season. There's still many points need to score and the game is still very long. Every weekend we must go back up there and ensure we fully utilize the car's capabilities. We had a terrific car and I think it was particularly dominant in Austria. However, we must make certain that we return to Silverstone," Verstappen added. When will the update be publicly introduced? The British Grand Prix will take place at Silverstone the following weekend, and Mercedes will debut the F1 Sprint Race weekend format along with the W12 car's final modification of the year. Mercedes has always dominated the circuit, winning 7 of the last 9 races that have taken place there. The track's most successful driver is Verstappen, who won the 70th anniversary Grand Prix last year. "Sadly, we don't have more races," Red Bull F1 chief Christian Horner said, adding that Silverstone will present a significantly different challenge for this team. Now, Horner said, "We moved to a track that has truly been a fortress for Mercedes for the previous 7 years. Including the sprint race, the task was different, and the format was different that weekend. Mercedes has been extremely dominant there throughout the years, and Lewis also gets support from his family, so we anticipate it to be a significant problem. With the introduction of the sprint race, there are also new challenges as well as a new structure that weekend. Mercedes has undoubtedly been very dominant there throughout the years. Additionally, Lewis receives support from his family, so we anticipate it to be tough. We're aware of how strong a hold Mercedes has there. It'll be interesting to see if we can carry this form into our upcoming home race. I believe we have developed a nice working window with the car throughout the last few races, and hopefully we can continue to do so at Silverstone," Horner said. What changes and upgrades are known, and what are predicted? You'll be surprised to know. The RB18's notable modifications in Monaco included changing the front brake's air intakes, which had a new opening. Along with the new cooling vents, a sizable vent opening was also added to the inner wall of the brake drums. It was noteworthy to note how the power unit's heat exchange was assisted by a new lip, which was installed on the edge of the side pod's rear ramp, even though the size of the side pod's top gills was lowered for race day in Monaco. This modification allowed more hot air to be vented from the lower back end of the radiator packs that were installed inside the tightly fitting sidewalls of the RB18. Let's get into the constructional view now. Even as Max Verstappen widens his lead in the World Championship, Red Bull continues to advance with a very aggressive development program on their RB16B. 7 days previously, he won the Austrian Grand Prix in a car very different from the one he used to win the Austrian Grand Prix. When he was asked for a balancing update during the race on Sunday, you could have overheard him say on the radio, "The new wing is nice." He was referring to a brand new front wing prepared exclusively for his automobile and delivered in time for the weekend. Due to the rush to build the pieces, this was operating in conjunction with a significantly redesigned bargeboard, which was also exclusively on Verstappen's car, with a full-width shark's teeth serrations around the top. Verstappen's vehicle upgraded diffuser received during the Austrian Grand Prix was fitted to Sergio Perez's car. Still, he kept the old wing and bargeboards. The main distinguishing characteristics of the new wing are more aggressive upsweep from the inboard end, with the upper flap rising further from there and subsequently sweeping back down towards the outboard end. The new wing is very much of the same family and only slightly altered in its geometry. The sweep is improved and the base of the wing is upswept towards the outboard, resulting in a larger throat area. It is essentially a higher downforce wing than previously, which should provide more direct downforce at the front end, perhaps at the expense of some underfloor downforce at the back, because the higher flaps at the inboard end will obstruct some flow to the underbody. To prevent the flow between the wheels from interfering with the work being done by the flow going between the wheels, which is used by the barge boards to increase the efficiency of the underfloor by accelerating the air into it, the large throat area would be expected to outwash more of the flow around the front wheels. Verstappen's car has a decoupling of the upper and lower vanes, subtly altering the intricate latticework arrangement of vanes on the barge board. Some of the improvements appear to produce a vehicle with increased downforce. The Red Bull's superior aero performance over the Mercedes in the preceding Styrian and French Grand Prix translated into more incredible straight-line speed for equivalent turn speed. Which side of Red Bull will be winning, before or after? The higher downforce front wing achieved a lower straight-line speed advantage than before, but a more considerable lap time advantage. Verstappen was only 12, roughly 4 km per hour slower than the previous setup, and Sergio Perez was second fastest through the speed traps in qualifying this time, with the Mercs of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas 17th and 20th respectively. Red Bull's stronger zero advantage will be used differently depending on the circuit, but that is less important because the car continues to demonstrate high responsiveness to improvement as opposed to the Mercedes. Red Bull is aware that the British GP will present a more difficult task the following week, despite the fact that it has won the previous 5 races. The Silverstone circuit will serve as an excellent gauge of whether or not Red Bull currently has a faster car on all tracks, because it has historically played more to the strengths of the Mercedes aero package. Still wanting to lift the budget cap, Horner? After expressing concern that most teams will be unable to stay within the $140 million budget limitation due to the increases in inflation worldwide, Horner once more expressed his desire to see the FIA lift the F1 budget cap. According to Horner, who had said that the UK is set to experience 11% inflation later this year, nobody could have anticipated such high inflation. We don't have the most troubles in this area. I may be the one that speaks out most about it. Mercedes employs more people and pays their employees more income than we do. When you hear about teams in the mid-grid, that'll also exceed the quota and that had previously advocated for a lower cap. It suggests, in my opinion, that development is not the major driver of these expenditures. Ferrari is another amazing team with huge costs. The fixed costs of participating in the competition include freight, energy, utilities, and component supply. It recently soared to great heights. With all the thrill, everyone will be waiting for RB18. Are you waiting too? Subscribe to us to be updated about F1 news.